Bill Johns from Cleveland is the featured filmmaker. Let's see what he's been up to.
Okay, you, take that, pack it up, go pack up the instruments. Go! No. They pushed the line back. I have an ambulance coming for you. You just sit tight. You know what I mean.
Where's Anna?
Anna!
The ambulance is here. We're gonna get you moved to a field hospital.
Will you be going with me?
No, I can't. But you'll get better care there, okay?
Anna.
Guys, come on.
I wish we had more time.
When I was a kid, my family used to go on vacations and different things, and my dad bought a Brownie 8mm movie camera, a wind-up, little box. And I was just intrigued by that little camera. And of course, a kid in the 60s, you're like watching a lot of TV, and combat was probably my favorite show. And so I always wanted to get into that and to be somehow involved in movies. And from that time on, I actually made a couple of little short films with that Brownie movie camera. And by the time I was in high school, I had actually, with my paper route money, been able to afford a Super 8 Nizo, which was, a really nice looking camera and had real high quality, and started doing short films even as early as high school. And that was a long time ago. Well, one of the things that I did is a company or a guy came to me and asked me if I would be interested in making a rock climbing movie down in Seneca, West Virginia. And I was like, yeah, sure. So we went down there and we did it in Super 8 sound. And it turned out really well. There were moments when you would think for sure that I was right next to them on the mountain, climbing the cliffs and all that. But they were all just areas that I had seen. Well, that rock looks a little like that real high spire. I'll put you guys there, film all my close-ups and stuff of you belaying and doing all the different things, and we'll cut that in with the wide shots that we had gotten. We even, my brother even came down, and he was a pilot, and we actually flew around the spire and got these amazing aerial shots too. So yeah, I was very proud of that, and that turned out really nice. Really enjoyed that. The first feature film that I worked on, I was director of photography for a film called Enemy, and it was done locally by a couple of guys down in Parma, and we actually sold that film to Blockbuster and Hollywood Video. So it got a pretty large distribution. Somebody made probably $250,000 to $300,000 on a $15,000 film, because it was shot in 16mm, it was all film. And so that was the main cost, was the film, the processing, and the transfer. I worked on that, and they said that the film looked like we had spent $250,000 on it. So I was pleased with that I gave it the look and feel of a bigger picture. And I enjoyed that. That was the first film that feature film that I'd worked on. And since then I've done 6 more feature films for small companies, in the area. And one of those is one that I wrote and produced and directed. And as far as I know, I think that's the only other film in that batch that has actually gotten distribution. I think the future of Cleveland filmmaking is going to depend on the city and investors and people that are in the area that have the funds or the wherewithal, who can finally see a project and see that it has potential and that it has marketability, and are willing to take a step of faith and put it in the hands of someone who can make it happen. That, of course, I'd love to be me. But it is tough. It's really tough. The investors in the area, they don't know anything about film marketing or film, period. And so to get them to loosen up their pockets, and give you some money is really difficult. You really have to have a body of work behind you that will convince them. And that's what I've been working on. The films that I've been working on, like I say, I try to make them look like we spent a lot more than we did to get the highest value out of the dollar that's spent. And then in marketing, to make sure that it's marketed in such a way that we actually make a profit on it. I did a film, my own feature film, which I wrote, produced, and directed. I produced that and made it for under $10,000 and just signed a deal with a distributor where the cash advance will be $20,000. So in a way, right out of the gate on that film, I've doubled the investor's money. So that always looks good, and it always makes it more interesting for him to want to get more involved and to want to, put up a little more next time and that kind of thing. Because one of the things that I want to do and try to get is I want to get a recognizable actor. It's so important to distribution that you have someone on the video jacket or in the poster that people recognize and that have a draw. There's actually formulas as to how much money a person will draw just by their face. So I want to try and get one of those faces in there that will draw some money so that I can then get the money to make the film. We're making the effort, we're trying. We're trying to make movies that are interesting and things that are, they always have to be low budget, but for my own part, I've always tried to take and make silk purses out of sow's ears. I mean, give me any money and I can do a lot with it. But it's been a challenge, but we keep forging ahead. You got to learn by doing sometimes.
Framelines is brought to you in part by Zabo Lights, the new LED lights for your production. Tape Central, providing your media needs. Production Partners Media, affordable media solutions. And grants from the Greater Columbus Arts Council.